and Allard, thank you very much for your time and the opportunity to interview for MSA newsletter.
Thanks for inviting me.
Great. Look, Sebastian, let's just start with a bit of your background, a bit of your career and your professional journey. Tell us more about yourself and what have you done the last, I don't know, 10 years, 15 years, post high school, probably.
So I did my Bachelor of Chemistry in France in University of Nantes.
Hmm.
Then I moved to a Master of Water Chemistry and Microbiology in France as well, in Poitiers. So this was done in an engineering school in 2005.
So when did
And
you get your bachelor? When
my
was that?
bachelor in 2003 and my
2003,
my master in 2005.
2005.
And then I moved to a PhD in an engineering school called ACIP in University of Poitiers, where I did my PhD from 2005 to 2008.
Hmm. Okay, and
After
then,
my
uh-huh.
yeah,
Yep.
after my PhD, I started actually a postdoc in France in CNRS, which is the equivalent of CSIRO.
Hmm.
But then I got an opportunity to come in Australia. So I was called for to lead a project in Australia at Curtin University, where I spent 12 years. So I started at Curtin University in 2009, and I
As a postdoc, right? What was the role?
I was a senior research fellow
Ah,
at
okay.
Curtin University. Yeah.
13. Okay.
So 2009 to 2022.
Hmm.
And in 2022, I moved to Cyprus, so 3 years, almost 3 years ago.
Hmm. Excellent. So I think at the 2009 you moved to Australia, joining Curtin as a
Yes.
research fellow. And in and when was the first time that you encountered? I know you're working with membrane and a lot of interesting, emerging BPID, other stuff. So I'm curious to know when was the first time that you encountered with the membrane?
I'm guessing around 2013, 2014. So when I was leading my first project, it was a 3-year project, and it was around oxidation processes. But then
Hmm.
I slowly went into the membrane world. So I've been working mainly at the beginning on ceramic membrane,
Mm.
um, because they got, advanced oxidation process, like advanced oxidation properties, like they are catalysts.
Mm.
And then I did a few projects where nanofiltration and ultrafiltration were involved. And
Hmm.
then I moved to electro separation technologies, so more like electrolysis reversal on bipolar membrane lately in the last 3-4 years.
Hmm. So it was 2013, did you say it was your first with exposure to the membrane, the concept of membrane?
Yes,
So your PhD
yes, yes.
project and your master projects wasn't about membrane, right? They were not.
No, it was
Okay.
purely water chemistry, oxidation processes, disinfection byproduct, water treatment, but like not directly related to membrane technologies.
So technically your education was based on still on the around the water, sort of water brine chemistry stuff, and then gradually you
Yeah,
you move towards the membrane and probably you take the transferring those knowledge into membrane. Okay.
exactly. I'm a water chemist to start with.
Yeah.
I'm not
Excellent.
an engineer, I guess. But I moved to the field, yeah, yeah, around 10 years ago. I think it is.
Mm-hmm. Okay, excellent. So, Sebastien, I know you just mentioned that you work with electrolyzer and ED and bipolar electrolyzer type of membranes and stuff. And in the community, we know BPED is and bipolar membranes are emerging. We know they have potential in this industry and has put a lot of applications. from water processing all the way to mineral processing. But the issue is that the BPIT is still in its earliest stage in terms of commercialization. It's not mainstream like reverse osmosis or nanofiltration. Um, so tell us a bit about the bipolar electrolyzer and where do you think the technology stands at the moment, and where do you think the future of the bipolar will be in different for different applications?
Yeah. So I think that there are two different type of technologies. There is EDR,
Hmm.
so electrodialysis reversal, and bipolar membrane electrodialysis. And these have two different applications. So maybe I'll start with EDR.
Hmm.
Electrodialysis reversal, I think, has a future, especially in Australia, because of the changing of induced by climate change.
Mm,
So in the future, this is again, everybody knows that reverse osmosis is the go-to for the industry, but it has also its trade-off for its issue. And I think EDR will be complementary to reverse osmosis in the
mm,
future,
mm,
especially again because of water scarcity, increasing saline water. This most probably will lead to uh, more stringent regulation where you need to recover more water, for example.
mm,
And this is where EDR will be really useful to be able to extract more water to reach zero liquid discharge, for example. Everything that where reverse osmosis is not really
mm,
suitable. So
mhm,
basically, it might address all the issue where you got saline water. It doesn't need to be actually purified 100%. It's lowest energy. You can remote control it. You can use also green energy, obviously, so you can put it off grid in remote community, small
mm,
community. So a lot of applications. Same for you can think about the mining industry. They can recover water. They don't need to use reverse osmosis, which is really energy intensive, and you
mhm,
recover only part of the water. So
mhm,
this is one part where EDR, I think, will be really important in the future because you can enhance your water recovery
mhm,
and use again green energy. That will definitely help
mhm,
Western Australia, at least, or Australia in general. Bipolar membrane is a little bit different. This is more targeting basically circular economy when
mhm,
you need to use chemicals, so you need to handle chemicals, store chemical, transport chemical. You can use bipolar membrane to produce your acid on base stream. So
mhm,
obviously, water treatment, mining, a lot of industrial application where you get this sorted. You can just use a salt solution, electricity, on water and produce your chemical on site.
mm,
That's one part. The second part is what we are trying to push at the moment is you can also use bipolar membrane to actually increase your resource recovery.
mm,
So you can talk about nutrient recovery. You can actually recover your nutrient from wastewater, for example, by using bipolar.
mhm,
You can also, in the mining industry, which is more like your domain, recover metals like lithium or
mm,
others by using and selectively recovering them. So in this case, the benefit is not lying on the direct cost of the technology, but basically what you recover out of your equipment. So you will save a lot of money if you obviously don't have, for example, in case of the the transport of chemical in Western Australia is really expensive. And in mining, it will be the same. Plus, you can increase your resource recovery, so you get additional profit from the same treatment, I
yeah,
guess.
mm,
So the technology is quite mature. When you talk about EDR, it's quite mature, I think, the technology itself. But it's true that, when you talk reverse osmosis, nanofiltration, ultrafiltration, there are so many suppliers. You can also find a lot of trained workforce, I guess. So that's
mm,
why the industry is going to this end at the moment. But definitely, I can see in the future that EDR and bipolar will be used more and more.
Mm. So um, I think I really like the way that you define EDR versus BPED, and I think BPED has a lot of potential, particularly from, as you mentioned, on-site reagent production, and also the converting waste to reagent and products. As you know, so there is a lot of sulfate salts that's produced in a lot of industries, and we don't know to do what we can do with that. So bipolar has the potential to produce acid and base for many applications, and well, you can have a co-product or byproduct, if you like, using bipolar electrolysis process, which is interesting. Um, for, Again, back to the discussion. So there is two things here. So one is the bipolar electrolysis process, and also the membranes. You talk
Yeah.
about the process, which is, I think we are I'm 100% agree on this with you. How about the material and the membrane? What is the main issue? What is the bottleneck here for the wide stream engagement of bipolar? Is it still the process, or the bottleneck is in the membrane and membrane stability and integrity?
So it really depends on the application. So yes, if you want to do some resource recovery, the bottleneck is on the membrane itself. So at the moment, there are a lot of people working on getting selective membrane for selective application. For example, membrane selective to lithium. So
Mm,
if you got, obviously, if you are producing something that has really high value, you will
mm,
find somebody who will design a membrane specific to your needs. Now, if you are looking at, for example, I am working on ammonia at the moment, there is still no membrane which are specific to ammonia. So there is a need to develop new membrane.
mm,
There are people which are doing it. There are already some startup companies that are providing this kind of membrane.
mm,
So that's one. And then for other applications, just for example, for chemical production, I think it's more the design of the stack and the development of different configuration in your stack so that you can make the process more energy efficient.
mm,
So there are two aspects in there. Yes, depending on the application, if you want to recover something specific, you want it like a certain purity, because it basically extracts iron. So it's not
mm,
selective. So if you need a pure lithium hydroxide solution, you need a selective membrane. If you don't bother about having salt in solution like sodium or chloride, then you don't really need a specific membrane.
mm,
But also, again, at the moment, there is a lot of work that is being done, especially in Europe, on EDR and bipolar.
mhm.
And people are claiming that they can already reduce energy consumption by 50%. So
Excellent.
there is also lots of work happening on this side, on basically developing new configuration, new stuff, new stack design that pretty much decrease energy consumption.
Hmm, hmm, hmm. Very interesting. Look, um, a lot of people are saying that the biped, although it's very efficient and has shown some a lot of potential, it has the main issue of it doesn't like too much of concentration, highly salinated or high TDS solution. Is it what's your takeaway for this one?
Um, no. So yes or no. Basically, you can get if you got a really highly saline solution and it just consisted of sodium chloride, for example, you will have absolutely no issue. The issue with bipolar is you create this basic stream, and when you have hardness in your water, so calcium and magnesium, they tend to precipitate in the base, which is
Mm,
expected. So that's the issue that people are having. They don't realize that it's specific to the calcium and magnesium. So basically, you need in this case, you need to have a pre-treatment step, which is actually removing the calcium
mm,
magnesium. So what people are doing these days with like concentrated in brine is they put a NF up front, so it
Mm,
selectively removes the divalent cation, and then your bipolar is working safely. So
mm,
there are different way of tackling this issue, but yeah, the answer is it's not like the ITDS really. It's like really you need to target the divalent ion which are precipitating in the base
mm,
side.
mm,
Also, this might be back to your membrane development. This is something that most probably people can tackle. They can make, or some industries they claim that they did some monovalent membrane, which is basically only allowing the monovalent ion.
mm,
So calcium, magnesium should be rejected, but at the moment the technology is not robust. The
mm,
membrane are not really efficient.
mm,
It seems to be that they are not convinced that there is a market for that, but again,
mhm,
I'm pretty sure in the future there will be,
mm,
and there'll be some new membrane design and membrane materials that are actually
mm,
specific to monovalent ion, and then you won't have any issue. You can run really
mm.
ITDS. It will be fine.
Mm. I think in the last 5 minutes you already shared a lot of new ideas for the membrane researchers to focus on in terms of the process, in terms of material developments. There is a lot to do in for developing the technologies for different applications. And the beauty of the ion selective membranes is that you can tune the chemistry of the membrane for different applications. And I think this is
Yes.
something that is going to be the next generation of ion selective membranes that can target the specific elements. And it could be a potentially a huge market and a huge developments and huge opportunities for the researchers and R&D activities in this domain and in this area of the membrane technology. I think let's switch, let's change the gear and talk about something else. Well, I think you post PhD when I think you received your PhD in 2008, right? So technically, you have already a lot of experience and a lot of advice. I think there is a lot of experience under your belt for PhD students, HDRs, and early career researchers who are interested to work in this sort of membrane and sort of water related or mineral processing related things. What would be your immediate advice for them, um, considering the fact that they can have two pathways, one going to stay in academia, similar to yourself going through the postdocs and eventually securing hopefully an academic role, or moving to the industry. What is your advice for them?
I think this is definitely a topic of real interest, and also especially in research.
Mm,
Again, this is working toward a sustainable future. When you heard about all these keywords, zero liquid discharge, circularity, green economy, you're talking about EDR on bipolar membrane, pretty much.
mm,
This is where people need to put effort in research and development and try to get solutions to actually, again, try to recover as much water as we can, reduce our energy consumption, integrate technology with green energy. So that's where all this stand, I guess.
mm,
So it's really a topic. I'm not a specialist about reverse osmosis and filtration on UF, but there has been so much work that I'm pretty sure you need to really find a small niche to make your way through your PhD and up to the research. But EDR and bipolar, they are just at this stage, like, starting to get commercialized at
mm,
large scale in Europe. But there's so much to, especially again, like, think about Australia. Really, really big land, remote communities where you need to find some solution to people which are off grid. This is exactly where we need to be, like small scale, modular unit, electrically driven, no chemical. So
mm,
this is basically the future of circular economy, and
exactly.
again a more green world. So I think it's like if I was a PhD student, I'd be quite excited to jump into this kind of topic again. It's the future of um, of water treatment and mining and
Yeah,
everything that we're calling here.
it has a lots of potential. Um, Definitely. I think the fact that with these technologies, they are very low maintenance, modular, and very sort of if it's become fully established and implemented, it's become very autonomous in terms of, as I said, it's a very good fit for large countries like us in Australia that we have a lot of remote communities that needs that type of technologies. Excellent. I think the second question before I get to the rapid fire question, we almost have 5 minutes left, is that the um, so do you think that, as I said, there is it's better for fresh PhD students to go through the following their future career into the industry or stay in academia? Tell us a bit about your experience in the academic environment and industry. So the difference between these two.
Yeah, so I think basically when you do research, you got much more freedom. That's the idea about doing research is unfortunately most of the time these days research is funded by the industry. So you are still locked in a little bit by the industry, but you need to keep in mind that you are not working 100% for the industry. You need to keep some freedom and try to push the boundaries.
Mm,
That's what you are here for. Even so you will always have some challenges. You need to overtake them. That's the beauty of doing
mm,
research. Plus, again, freedom and excitement because any day is different. Any day you start a new experiment, you don't know what to expect. You get excited to go to work. So, this works, this doesn't work. It's like a really nice brain exercise, I guess. So this is more like the academic. When you walk into the industry, especially I think in Western Australia, basically they are looking for something they can deploy really quickly. So it's it's really important to have also this kind of people. Like it's mostly like engineering applying some technologies that already exist. But you will have less, obviously, freedom.
mm,
Basically, you got a target, you need to reach this target, do it. But like
mm,
going around is much more difficult in the industry, I
mm,
guess.
mm,
So it depends of people as well. People they like to have a lot of freedom. Other people they like something really square and get some guidance. So for those people, I'd suggest to go to the industry. If you like more freedom in what you're doing, especially if you want to change the world again or
mm,
build your future, is probably better. And if you are it's not smart, it's not the right word, but curious, like if you
mm.
want to know more, this is more like fitted to people who wants to do their career in an academic career.
Yep, excellent. Thank you very much. So let's get to the few rapid fire questions. Sebastian, tea or coffee?
Coffee, definitely.
Coffee, excellent. So if you have been told, okay, there is only one city that you like to spend the rest of your life, what would be that city?
I think I'll pick Perth, huh?
Paris. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, it fits me.
Okay, excellent. And yesterday I interviewed another one of our seniors for MSA newsletter, and he said Perth. So it's very interesting. So Seb, if you the last question, if you had a chance to go back to your 20 years old version, just right after your um, BSc, bachelor degree, what would be your advice to your younger version?
Ah, good question. This is hard. Maybe basically try to better understand. This is not a good answer, but the admin world surrounding your work, that has always been an issue for me. Yeah, try to get to understand all what surrounds the research because it takes a lot of time and the earlier you understand this, the less time you're wasting, and you get more time to actually do some research. So yeah, since like what I've seen when I was younger is I didn't want to get involved to any administrative task, and
Mm,
then when you reach, as soon as you're called a bit senior, you're basically flooded with that.
yes.
Uh, so unfortunately, it's not a fun advice, but it is a reality. It is a
Mm,
reality. So
very interesting.
it's not getting better, unfortunately.
Yes, I am. Trust me, I'm dealing with that. On my daily life.
I know,
Great.
I know.
Yeah. Excellent. Thank you very much, Dr. Sebastien Allard. It was great to have you at MSA Newsletter, and I wish you the best for your future endeavor, whatever you're doing. And thanks a lot.
Thank you for the invitation, and see you soon.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.